What's going on, YouTube? Back with another video, and today I got another build for you guys. So basically it's gonna be an undersized big, kind of a popper, I guess, but he's really for fives. So if you want to be use him for the threes or the twos, I guess you kind of can, but you can pretty much just update it, add to it, do whatever you want to do for whatever game mode. But I'm thinking fives, mainly rec, pro am. It's an undersized big. I would say more so rec because it's not really the most comp you can get, but if you want to do what you do with it, be my guest. So finish off the intro. Bible verse of the day from Philippians 4:12 through 13. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. So basically, we shouldn't really put a lot of value into materialistic things. I know sometimes we put a lot of value into things that really shouldn't consume us. You know, there's another verse, I don't know where exactly it is, but it's if God is all that I have, then I have all that I need. And you know, sometimes that we think we need something else, or we think there's something missing in our lives, but at the end of the day, as long as we have God, then we're perfectly fine. And not every situation is going to be easy, I would say, but you know, at the end of the day, anything that you're going through, you know, whether you have a lot or you have little, you know, you're going through it for a reason. You're being prepared for something in the future, you know. So just learn how to be content with what you have and learn how to make do with what you have, because sometimes we don't need everything, or we may want something that somebody else has. I wouldn't even say jealousy or nothing, but it's just, you know, especially living in with social media, we may see somebody has this or that, and then we may want that. I'm not saying don't have your interests. Like, say you like cars and you want a certain car, you got a dream car, go for it. Let that be a goal of yours, but don't let that consume you and drive you to doing anything to achieve that. Don't worship that car or that goal that you have. Make sure you value the things that really have value, which is your relationships and the people around you, your health, things like that, you know, the things that are free, because those are the things that's most important. You know, we don't always understand the value of a moment or of somebody until that moment or that person is gone. So let's make sure we value the things that we should. So getting into the build, like I said, it's an undersized big, so we're gonna go center. We're gonna bring the weight down to 243. Hold on, let me bring up the picture that all right, 243, and then 7'3" wingspan. So first thing, when I make a center, I always think of rebounding first. So I put it at 7'3" wingspan, 243, because our rebound is gonna max out at a 96. So I'm vet 2. We're in season 6, so I get 15 cap breakers. So I'm making the build as a 15 cap breaker template. So adjust accordingly and put your cap breakers wherever you can. But the first ones, the most important ones, is putting your D rebound to a 91, and then you're going to put your 5 cap breakers here. That's going to give you rebound chaser on Hall of Fame, and then you can max +1 if you have to. Get that on legend. And then offensive, we're just going to leave at an 87. I tried to bring it a little higher, but I couldn't. I'll explain that later. And then next, as a big, I want to have strength. Same thing with strength. I wanted this at a 91 so I can get brick wall gold. So I'm going to put the 86 cap breaker, or 86, and then cap breaker +5. Get the brick wall on gold at a 91. That's going to give you some other good badges too. And then what's going to help with rebounds and blocks is your vert. So I always like the 85 for a big. You can try to go higher if you can, but I wouldn't go any lower, especially because he's undersized with this build. You really want a good enough vert, and that's going to help you with blocks too. The higher vert, the higher block. I will attest to that. Speed, since he's undersized, this is what we're going to pride ourselves on with this build, is just being faster than the other bigs, being able to close out, help, switch, do everything that you got to do. So you want to max out your speed and agility. And then since he's still a big, next most important thing is interior defense. You're undersized, so you're going to want to have the strength and interior. So we're going to put this at an 88, and that's going to give us post lockdown gold. Same thing, you can max +1 it. You're not going to be getting bullied. People, especially if you're playing fives, people really aren't posting up and just drop spit. Like, that's not how fives usually work. So you're going to be perfectly fine with this. And then block, I try to get a higher block because we're undersized, so just in case we are getting posted up or somebody's trying to drive in on us and then dunk on us, since we're smaller, I kind of wanted a higher block, but we're going to leave this at an 84. You can cap breaker if you want to, but I wouldn't because of where else we're gonna put it. But right now we got our cap breakers on D board and strength, and then steel. I wanted to get interceptor on gold, but I couldn't get it that high with what I was trying to do with this build. But if you can sacrifice something the way you play and your team would play, if you have a team, then go ahead and go for it. But just having this steal right here should be enough to get those passing lane steals when the ball is going down low or you read a lane, especially with the speed and agility you have with the center. So it shouldn't be too bad. Perim I left at a 51. It just moves up by itself. I try to get this higher too for a contest, just to have like your contest is tied into your perimeter and where you are with the ball. Like when somebody's shooting the ball, wherever the ball is released, if your hand's not near the ball, it's not going to count. So you got to jump contest a lot. And since you have a low perimeter as a big, like bigs naturally have low perimeter this year, then you're usually just going to get shot over. So try to get it up, but at the end of the day, you can really counter it by just picking and choosing when you jump contest and when you don't. After that, pass sack, we're going to move this to 75. That gives us break starter on silver. A lot of people go for the gold. You can go for the gold if you can. But like I said, there's a lot of sacrifice you have to make with this build. So do what you can, but pass sack 75, that's silver break starter. You can throw them, but at the end of the day, it's all slingshot effect and all that other stuff. So a lot of this stuff doesn't even matter like that. But getting into the shooting, we're going to put our midi at an 81. Now I would max this out, but this is where I'm gonna put my other 5 cap breakers. So we're gonna go cap breakers on D board, strength, and midi. So it's gonna give me 86, and that's gonna give me some good bases, Michael Porter Jr., Jonathan Isaac, whatever you choose. And I try to get the set shot on gold. If you really have to, you can really just change and do your takeover too. Don't forget about your takeover. I'll go over some of them that you can put on with this build, but you can max +1 set shot if you have to, but you're gonna have the 86. It'll give you some good jump shots for a big. And then lastly, driving, we put this on 73 for the silver poster, and then I maxed this out to a 81, and that gave me rise up on silver. And then everything else was just what came with the build, I believe. I guess free throw, we'll throw this on. Yeah, that's what I did. So this is pretty much the build. These undersized big, you're really not going to be posting up like that. So, well, I'm not within the fives, but if you want to use them somewhere else, or you play in the post more than you do something else that I have high, then just change it. Like I said, always make your builds accustomed to how you play, your play style, and what game modes you play mainly, because that's always going to change and who you play with. So it comes out Jack Sigma, Okongwu, and I'm not pronouncing his first name, Onyeka Okongwu, and Jalen Williams. So undersized big, two-way board, hunt and stretch. And like I said, let me show you some takeovers you can use. And takeovers, you really don't need the board beast unless you're really getting forced, then you can put it on. But I would just put on a takeover that helps you with something that you're lacking in with your gameplay, what you're seeing. So if I'm good at boxing out, then I don't need to put on a rebounding one unless I want this rebounding and the three-pointer. So it just put it somewhere where it's gonna help you with what you struggle with. That's what I do with my takeovers. So if a build has a lower perimeter and I'm not getting that many bumps with him because he's a small guard, I'm gonna put on Vice, and that's gonna help me get more body ups like you see at the bottom with the takeover ability. So that's what I do. It just gives you more stone walls or something like that. So if I'm getting not getting enough rebounds, something that's going to give me see the future and upgrade my rebound. But there's certain ones that help you with rebound. So this one is rebound, offensive, defensive, and block. But this one up here, Fortress, not Fortress, which one is it? I lost it. See, this one's offensive rebound, defensive rebound, and vert. So that's going to help you get blocks too, since you have the vert. So I will go with this one over the other one. Glass Gunner is three-pointer and both rebounds. So just, you want to put the ones that give you more things, especially since our rebound's already high. It's going to max out early. So you can really help out that three-pointer by putting Glass Gunner on. So you got a lot of options, but just put it towards somewhere where you're lacking in, like this. If you're not getting a lot of blocks, put on SWAT Specimen. It helps you shoot and get blocks. So just always use your takeovers wisely too. So that's pretty much the build. That's the takeovers. Sigs, he's not a dribbler, so you don't really need Sigs with this one, but it gets everything that you really need as an undersized big. So that's the build. If you guys like the build or want any more build templates, any player types or anything, we got a lot of builds in our on our channel. But other than that, just let me know what you guys want to see next, and I'll get that done, and I'll catch you on the next one.